Very warm good evening from our studios here on Kairaba Avenue. My name is Aliou Cisse and we're broadcasting live from our studios here on Kairaba Avenue, just right behind the Q-Solman building. We are back here to bring you the live daily debates that we bring to you every day, brought to you by QTV, among candidates to better inform the electorates what their plans and programs are as their role as candidates for the upcoming National Assembly election is concerned. Today we are looking at the Busumbala constituency in the West Coast region, that is the Brikama administrative area. And when you talk about Busumbala constituency, I mean, this is a constituency which has 53,453 registered voters as of the last presidential election. And when you talk about the Busumbala constituency here, you're talking about Lamen, Banjolending, New Yundum, Yarambamba, Lamen Daranka, Kerawan, Mandinari, of course, Babylon are all part of the Busumbala constituency. And no wonder, I mean, it has one of the highest number of registered voters. In 2017, I mean, we saw the incumbent Sekuba Jaji was elected under the Dan UDP ticket, where he pulled 8,475 votes, which earned him the ticket to represent the people of Busumbala constituency at the National Assembly. And in that particular election, he was challenged by 3 other candidates in the names of Jere Sanyang, who had contested under the APRC ticket, Kantong T. Marina GDC, and Musa Sise PDYS party. Well, there's a slight change as far as this year's election is concerned, because the incumbent Sekou Bajaj, who had contested under UDP, cross-carpeted to the National People's Party. And this time around, he's contesting under the National People's Party, and he is being challenged by Nyima Lisa Kujabi, who is in the studio contesting on the PDYS ticket. Nyima Lisa is one of the 3 women put up by the PDYS party to contest in the for the upcoming parliamentary election. Nyima is in the studio. We also have Samuel Mendy. Samuel Mendy is also contesting as an independent candidate for the Busumbala constituency. We also have Sekuba Jaju. Like I said, he is the sitting National Assembly member of the constituency. And by the way, he is the first NPP candidate to avail himself to be on this platform, to be part of the debate. We have to thank him for agreeing to come on this program. And we also have Jere Sanyang is also contesting, but Jere is not here with us. I mean, here also in the studio is Buba Sar. Buba Sar is contesting as an independent candidate. So of the candidates contesting in Busumbala constituency, it is only Jere Sanyang who is contesting for the second time, but this time as an independent candidate, is not here with us. And Mohamed Kante, we have reached out to all of them to be on this program, but due to reasons best known to them, they have decided not to be here. Once again, welcome. You're watching QTV, and we're broadcasting live from our studios, also streaming on our different social media platforms, Facebook and YouTube, and also on Q Radio on 103.3. My name is Aliou Cisse. Before we get into the debate proper, let me just share with our debaters the rules governing this debate. The debate shall last for 1 hour, 30 minutes. The debate shall include short breaks. Each of the debaters will be given 2 minutes to make an opening statement. The same applies for the closing remarks. Candidates can ask each other questions and answer the moderator's follow-up questions. Debaters are to address each other by Mr., Mrs. or Miss, followed by the opponent surname. The questions are independently prepared by QTV. There will be no rebuttals for the opening and the closing remarks, but there shall be 1 minute rebuttal for any claim that any of the debaters want to counter. There will be a 10 minutes phone-in call to allow the people of the Busumbala constituency to call and ask questions to any of the candidates. And at the end of the debate, we expect the debaters to acknowledge each other with a handshake or elbow bump. Like I said, you're watching QTV, the Gambia's first private TV station, and we are broadcasting live from our studios here on Kairaba Avenue in the Gambia, West Africa. Welcome, lady and gentlemen. Welcome to the debate. Like I said, I mean, I will start with Nyima Lisa Kujabi, who is contesting for PDYS in the Busumbala constituency. Nyima, in 2 minutes, an opening statement.
Good evening. I would like to say hello to the whole nation, and I would like to thank the people of my constituency, which is Kombonot Busumbala constituency, and I would like to thank them for giving me the opportunity to run on a PDOIS ticket, aspiring to be a National Assembly member.
Thank you very much, Lisa Kujabi, PDOIS party, and I will now bring in Samuel Mendy, who is contesting as an independent candidate. Samuel, 2 minutes to make an opening statement.
Good evening, viewers. My name is Samuel Mendy, an independent candidate of Busumbala constituency. Your servant leader, determined to be able to effect a change because the challenge has come upon us, the people of Busumbala constituency, to transit from where we are to the next level. And I am here, be willing to serve you as your independent candidate and be willing to effect the change that we've all been waiting for. And then we are here for that. That is the main reason why I am here, because I believe in you people. Together we can have a thriving nation and constituency. Thank
you very much, Samuel Mendy. And now I'll bring in Sekuba Jajo, who is a sitting National Assembly member for Busumbala constituency. Sekuba, 2 minutes opening statement.
Very good. Thank you very much. First of all, I want to thank QTV for the opportunity, according to me, to be part of this panel today. And as you said, the first NPP candidate. First, and also I want to thank my party, from the leader, and to all my constituency chairmen and the people in my constituency for allowing me to be part of the debate today. Obviously, it's just, I'm not new. I am your humble servant, representative of the Busumbala constituency. I'm seeking for election to continue the good job that I've started in the constituency. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sekuba Jajo, the sitting National Assembly member for Busumbala constituency. And I will now bring in Buba Sarr, another independent candidate. Buba, 2 minutes opening statement.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Greetings to all. I'm greeting all the viewers and those who really supported me, what I am up to. That is the objectives I'm having for Busumbala constituency and the country as whole. That is Road to Development, RTD. I thank QTV, all the staffs within the visibility or outside. I'm here saying to all of you, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you very much, Buba Sarr. Thank you very much, Sekuba Jajo, Samuel Mendy, and Lisa Kujabi. Thank you so much for agreeing to be on this program. We now get into the debate proper. I will start with Lisa Kujabi. Like I said, I mean, you are one of the 3 women put up by your party, and of course, one of the 19th, if I'm right, women contesting in the upcoming parliamentary election. What are some of the key issues in your constituency that has warranted you to say, you know what, I think I should contest and represent my people in parliament?
Thank you. There are many issues, and I'm sure we cannot address all of them here today, but you said the key issues, and I will start with the healthcare system in my constituency, the youth issues, the roads, the women's gardens, the fire stations, the police stations, just to name a few of the issues that motivated me and inspired me to run to represent my folks in the National Assembly.
I would like you to elaborate more when you talk about the healthcare system. You talk about youth, you say roads, fire station, police station, women garden. I would like to elaborate more.
Well, the healthcare system of the nation, I feel like is non-functional, but I would like to address that of my constituency from the grassroots level. The health care system in Busumbala constituency is so lagging that I feel like it's almost non-existent. We do not have healthcare centers that are up to standard. Example, maternity wings. I've seen issues with women that are in childbearing age, struggling in desperation to give birth. And I've heard many instances where young, healthy-looking women expecting babies, joyful, will die giving birth. And I'm not understanding why in 2020 this should be this big issue in Gambia and Kombo North Busumbala constituency. Women are dying to deliver. And the reason for this, to me, is because of the healthcare system is lagging. We have healthcare centers in Busumbala constituency, but they are not well equipped.
Well,
we have nurses.
They are not well equipped. A quite powerful claim there by Nyimalisa Kujabi. I'll come back to you. I mean, you have listed quite a lot of issues that you said are the issues in your constituency. I'll come back to you. Each has 2 minutes to make a response. I will now bring in Samuel Mendy, an independent candidate. Samuel, same question. Why are you contesting? What are some of the issues in your constituency?
Thank you very much for that question. I think one of the glaring needs of our nation and also my constituency has to do with leadership, because nothing changes without leadership, nothing succeeds without leadership, nothing improves without leadership, nothing progresses without leadership. Because of that, it has led for our constituency to be dormant, and then the human potentials of our people are dormant. And then we want to maximize that, most especially young people. That we've not been prioritized. Looking at the recreational centers for young people, youth and sport are very key issues that are pertaining to young people when it comes to development. You talk about also women and then gardening. You look at areas that has to do with water. Lack of access of water is also very, very key and then pressing issue in my constituency, but just to name a few.
Thank you. Can you just elaborate further when you talk about the issue of leadership? You talk about what you describe as perhaps that lack of leadership, poor leadership. Elaborate more.
Yeah, because the reason is because vision drives a nation. Nothing changes without leadership, as I have said. Nothing will improve without leadership. When you look at my environment or my constituency around me, vision is the key. That is what is lacking. Where there is no vision, people cast off restraint. You realize that their potentials are lying dormant. They are helpless. And we are in the 21st century. Looking at my constituency, nothing is happening, nothing improves, nothing advances. So for that reason, I believe that if I am going to put my constituency in order, leadership is the key. Because without it, we are not moving anywhere. And no nation or constituency can progress without a common vision. Vision is the driving key for leadership. Where there's no vision, people perish, because vision will determine where you're going to take the people as a leader from one level to another. If there is no proper leadership, chances are we ain't going anywhere. It will be like force applied, no distance covered, therefore no work done. So this is the reason why I believe nothing changes without leadership. For that reason, leadership is a key factor to be able to drive my constituency effectively.
Yes, thank you very much, Samuel Mendy. I will now bring in Sekuba Jajo, who is the sitting National Assembly member for Busumbala constituency. Mr. Jajo, I will start by first, I would like you just to explain to us, I mean, like you said, I mean, you are the first independent NPP candidate to be on this platform. We understand it was a policy from your party that, you know, your candidates shouldn't be appearing on debates. I would like you just to clarify this issue, whether that's the case and how did you come here. And you are seeking re-election in your constituency. I mean, what are some of the issues that you think you have not been able to address in your first term, and you think you should be given a second term to be able to address some of those issues?
Thank you very much. To clear that one, obviously, yes, it's a policy on the side of my political party that debate is not prioritized, political debate. What is more important, go to do your campaign on the ground to get your votes, talk to the people directly. But I believe this is also one way of talking to the people. How do I came when I was awarded the invitation? I first engaged my committee, because as a member, you are controlled by your committee, you decide with them. And they gave me their approval. Then I have to reach out to the higher level of the party, which they said, yes, it's a policy, but not strictly on the sitting members. because you might have something that you've done, you want people to know about it. So if you can go, just be there. So I said, obviously, I am here. Yes, I am the sitting MP of Busumbala constituency. I believe what I want to start with, I want my colleagues to join me. Let's continue. Because all what they are trying to talk about, I think I have done something about it. It's just a matter of just to continue. When I came first, what I did was need assessment of my constituency. You know, every community has structures. We first need to know where and what is the responsibility of a National Assembly member. Where are we fitted in the institution, in the society? That's what first need to be cleared up. Before you say, I do this, you need to know where are you in the society. Or what is your responsibility? If you know your responsibility, then you will know what and what you can do and what is beyond you. In the structures of our society, National Assembly doesn't have any portfolio. In the community, you have the Alcalo, you have the VDCs, you have the leaders that are there, which are being provided by the law. According to the law, the National Assembly doesn't have any portfolio in the society. So your responsibility is just to advocate for those institutions to be able to be functional. Your main function is in the National Assembly. You go to the National Assembly where you have the legislative functions, you have the oversight functions, you have the representative functions. In the representative functions, you work directly with your people. So what I did was just to go and engage the existing institutions in the constituency. All the villages, I went to their institutions to know and try to get their update of their functions.
I know your 2 minutes is finished because I asked you 2 questions. I'm giving 30 seconds to finalize what you are trying to explain.
All right, what do I started? All what I did, when I did my need assessment, I came to realize that health, education, road infrastructure, security are problems. Youth empowerment are problems in my constituency. So what do I do? How do I get those problems now? I am not there to solve those problems. So what can I do to be able to, for those problems to be solved? It's just go to the National Assembly. Try to advocate for the issues, those issues there. Because in the National Assembly, government will come with their programs and policies to you. That this is what they want to do. They expect us to scrutinize. In that scrutiny, you try to bring in your issues there. But after that, you go and lobby.
You go and lobby. Hold it there. I will come back to you. You go and lobby. I will come back to you. Let me now bring in Buba Sar, an independent candidate. Buba, the same question to you. I mean, what are some of the issues that people really care about in your constituency that you probably feel, you know what, I think I should be in the parliament?
Yeah, thank you very much. Number one, in my constituency, I wanted to develop fisheries sector there, number one, which is a priority. Education, number two, energy sector as well, where Gam Petroleum is located at, the basic commodities, agriculture, health, environment, and language barrier. Presently, by looking in our National Assembly, our language should be emphasized. We should elaborate on it and we should speak on it. That is being Mandinka or Fula or Wolof or other languages, it depends. It's really sad. Most of the peoples in the parliament, they cannot express themselves in English language. There are two things. Number one, going to school, learning English, being an English language, or you are a professor in English language, and wisdom. These differ. These are two different issues. Somebody can be in the parliament, but he's not very good in English language. Like Gambians, they believe they have, if somebody can speak more than you in English, is educated than you, which is very wrong. So, in fact, I even want to speak in our own language for the masses of people to hear what I'm saying Presently, I know internationally.
Thank you very much, Buba Sar. I mean, your 2 minutes finished. I will now go back to Nyima Lisa Kujabi. I mean, you've listed quite a lot of issues in your constituency. You talk about youth, roads. I mean, like I said, women guarding, among other things. In fact, you said the health sector in your constituency appears as non-functional and, in fact, non-existent.
Yes.
Let's now start by understanding what you understand are the roles or the responsibility of a National Assembly member before we get to find out how you intend to address these issues. What do you understand?
What I understand is a National Assembly member will be the one that represents his or her constituency in Parliament, in the National Assembly, and meaning that when laws are put on the table, we are the ones that scrutinize those laws and try to pass or fail the ones that won't benefit our community. That's what I understand. And we are the ones also that will protect the national assets. And we are also the people that will be messengers relating our constituencies' messages back to the Assembly. And also, like I said, be watchmen that will protect the national assets. That's what I understand.
But I mean,
some
now
of the functions
you talked about making laws, serving as watchmen in Parliament, overseeing what the executive does. But going by what you have listed here, you require money to be able to solve some of these issues.
Right.
How do you intend to address these issues?
When the laws
Where do you get the money from?
When the bills are put on the table, the laws are put on the table, and we vote on them. I just said that we will pass the laws that will benefit the people. And I'm sure healthcare, the bill about healthcare, because that will be a continuous need for everybody. So when the bill is put on the table, it should be scrutinized and look at what is in the bill that will benefit the people or what is lagging in the bill. And we'll add on to the bill the things that are lagging or that are there that are non-beneficial to the people. We will remove and pass with the things that are in it to vote to overhaul the healthcare system so it will benefit its people. How would it benefit? The councillors are on the ground in our constituencies, and I feel like the way that they can access their funds or projects to do their work in the communities is when we, the National Assembly members, vote on bills that will benefit the people, and the councillors will take it off from there because their projects will now be financed and that they can use those funds to make a difference in their communities.
But I mean, what guarantee do you have? Because you are just one out of the 58 National Assembly members in Parliament.
Well, Parliament is not about fighting, it's about discussions. I'm not going there and be like, hey, look, this is what is going to be done. It doesn't work like that. I'm not there, but I think that things don't work like that. You go in there, it's all about conversations. We have to table things out. This is why it's many of us from different parties. So when things come up, we conversate on them, we list, and when things are not there, you can point them out and suggest that, you know, this is a need in my community, but it's not on the table here. It's not among the things that are here. Why don't we do something about it?
Thank you very much, Nyima Lisa. I will now go back to Samuel Mendy. Earlier, you talked about poor leadership. You're talking about the issue of young people not being prioritized. You talk about the issue of water shortage in your constituency, women. You raise quite a lot of issues. I mean, do you also have a different understanding of what the roles of a National Assembly member is? And how do you intend to address these issues? Do you agree with Nyima Lisa, or you also have a different plan, different understanding of how to address these issues?
Yeah, well, quite agree with Nyima Lisa when it comes to issues that has to do with some of the issues that I've mentioned in my constituency. The reason being that I believe in collaboration. It's one of the key factors that which will able to help me to leverage when it comes to the issues pertaining to my constituency, working with some of the members of the National Assembly members to make sure that at least bills are being passed that prioritize areas that has to do with my constituency with regards to the councillors that are there on the ground. That is my job, to make sure that first collaboration is very, very important, because I alone cannot do it.
Yes, you alone cannot do it. I will bring in Sekuba Jaji, who is the incumbent National Assembly member. Earlier on, you said, looking at the issues in your constituency, you said, you have done something about these challenges. I want to know, what have you done in your first time to address some of these issues?
Thank you. Let me first help my colleagues. National Assembly member, apart from your legislative functions, your other function is to influence the programs of the government. How do you do that? When government says this is their plan, how do you influence? Is to bring in the issues of your constituency. That means you need to know the issues of your constituency at your fingertip. Because every program that government brings, for example, if government wants to bring do road infrastructure, they get money and they want to do road construction in the country. You look into it, you raise your issues there. Try to advise the executive. If it cannot fit in the present programs, then let them try to put it in the next program. That's the function. You will try to influence. Now, what do I do on all these programs, issues that they are talking about? If you start with health, I was able to convince and influence the government programs to be able to have some minor health facilities in my constituency, which are not being existed. Because half of a love is better than none. Let my people have an easy access to a place where they can have first aid and then get rescued. Then I'm able to, Busumbala as a village, not a constituency, as a village, it's too big. The only nearest place that they go to is Yundum, Busumbala or Farat. So if you look at the Busumbala, it has so many constraints. I have to try to talk to the government, bring the issue of health facilities, need of health facility in Busumbala, until I am able to convince the government to have an ambulance and a new health facility in Busumbala. You go to Makumbaya, my constituency is divided into two. You have the vulnerable, and then you have the less privileged ones. My constituency, there are problems all over. But if you look at communities behind the airport, are highly vulnerable when it comes to these social needs.
Just hold it there. You talk about using your parliamentary powers to influence the government's programs, and you said, because of this, you were able to bring about some minor health facilities in your constituency. But earlier on, we had Kujabis. Nyamali said, health sector in that constituency is non-functional and it's more like non-existence.
All right, that's her perception of using that word. All right, but to me, you need to know categories. If they say health facility, Ministry of Health have programs, and they have sketch map of every community. They know how to do it. You go and bring your problems. Then you sit with them and they advise you. Bring up issues. If you allow me to tell you, yes, there's national problems that we all complain. Health facility is a problem, it's non-functional, but not to the extent the way we are assuming it. At least,
Yes. Nyimalisa, is that just your perception that what you are saying is not the case?
It is the case. I can attest to that the healthcare system in Busumbala constituency is almost non-existent. People are having a very hard time accessing these facilities and be treated. I have gone to hospitals because I dedicate most of my time trying to help people that are ill and have no help. I will take anyone that I know or don't know that needs health care to close by or far away places, health centers in Busumbala constituency and beyond. This is where my argument comes from.
For you, the issue of the health sector, is this just a problem for Busumbala constituency, or is it a national problem?
I feel like it's a national problem. The healthcare system in Gambia, everyone knows that any nation that cares about the well-being of its people will address healthcare first. But the healthcare system in the Gambia as a whole is very poor. When people get sick, critically sick, they have to cross some form of a border, either by air border or sea border, to go to another country to look for treatment. And not everybody can afford that. Majority of the Gambian people cannot afford the bills, the medical bills here in the country, much more
everybody
crossing
can afford the
a
bills.
border.
That's your claim. I mean, the problem of the health sector is beyond just Busumbala. I will now bring in Buba Sarr here. You also listed quite a lot of sectors that you want to address. You talk about the fishery sector, education, energy. You talked about basic commodities, agriculture, health. Let me just stick to energy. What are you going to do about energy sector? Because you have listed energy as one of your top priorities if you are elected.
Yeah, energy, fishery sector, they are my top priority.
Let's focus on energy for now.
That of energy, like I live in Mandinaring. GAM Petroleum is located at Mandinaring. Energy sector is very important in this country. The time, in fact, GAM Petroleum was been given, I was the first person to work with them up to the finishing point. And I am the one who laid down the pipeline of GAM Petroleum at sea to a length of 2 kilometers, 17 meters depth through the GPS. Energy sector is very important in the country. Without fuel, nothing can run. Without fuel, nothing can be existing in our community or in the country as a whole. In fact, presently, I'm searching and maybe 400 square meter.
Buba, I think I have to interject here. The fact is we all know the importance of the energy sector, right? I just want to know, what are you going to do to fix the problem of the energy sector?
I wanted to upgrade because I'm looking for a flat land of, even not a flat land, I'm looking for a land of 400 square meter to boost it up for it to be additional to the energy sector as at now where I'm speaking. Energy sector is really very important in this country. Like if you check on our list, the storage facilities we have in our country is only GPS and that of GAM Petroleum. So we need to encourage other companies as well and really to pave a way for many to invest in that sector.
I'll come in here. You talk about looking for a land. How are you looking for this land and who is going to pay for it?
I am connected.
To who?
Companies.
To who? To what? Because it's important.
I am connected to companies. Presently.
Name us, give us names of companies you are connected.
Yes, but that of Capital Gas. Capital Gas, the person who owns Capital Gas. Presently, we are looking for a land at Mandinaring 400 square meter or 3x2 to build energy sector, that is that of petroleum storage. Because I know I've been working with them and we wanted to boost it up to see that Gambia, the energy sector, is stable in this country.
I want to know now, how much money do you need to do this thing?
Presently, that is technicalities. I cannot just jump up and tell you, presently, this is the amount of money is being needed for that. Because number one, the time we were building GAM Petroleum.
So basically, Buba, we can say as we speak, you have no plan, you have no money for this.
I have a plan, I have a money, but I am not the head of the project. I'm the facilitator.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Buba Sarr, independent candidate. Let me now go back to Nyima Lisa. I mean, let's now from the health sector. You talked about what you said is the issue of roads, youth empowerment, like you said. I mean, women gardening. I mean, how deep is this issue in your constituency, and what do you, how do you intend to address this problem?
These issues.
Because I mean, your role as a National Assembly member is just to pass laws, scrutinize the budget, and serve the oversight functions.
I don't see that as a just. It's very important because the National Assembly has to be there for the projects to be worked on. That is to pass the laws that are going to enable these projects to exist. So National Assembly person's job is not just. It's very important. And the roads are a very deep issue in my constituency. The roads are bad. Going from Kunkujanjataya to Galoya, going to Makumbaya, going all the way to Bafuloto to Brikama, going to Lamin, Babylon, coming into Mandinari. All of it, going to Darubusumbala. If you see the road that's in Darubusumbala, the day that I went there, I cried before I even could speak. The roads are really terrible, and the people are telling me that in the summertime, they feel like they're in a death trap because they cannot get an emergency and call any vehicle owner that will dare to come answer them. So there are women in like 2020, said, let me finish this, right. Sorry. There are women in 2022 delivering their babies on horse and donkey carts and on roadsides because in the summertime, when they call and women are in labor and they couldn't deliver at home but have complications, no one will answer to them because the road is bad and no transport owner is going to come. So they have to find their own way to the nearest health facility, and they will either carry the woman on a donkey cart and hope for the best, or put them on the road and hope for a transport to show up.
These are issues that you have been emphasizing as far as your constituency is concerned.
Right.
But one thing we need to understand, your mandate as a National Assembly member is to make laws. But these laws doesn't translate into projects. And these projects you're talking about, it requires a lot of money.
Right.
We are in a country that is so indebted. I mean, this is a tax-based economy.
Yes.
How do you intend to use your powers to get the required funds to be able to have these projects in place?
Lack of funds shouldn't deter us from aspiring for a better way of living. Whether with funds or not, I'm aspiring to dignify my people of the Gambia, and that will start from Kombo North constituency.
How will you do that without funds?
Kombo North Busumbala constituency. So I'm telling you that the National Assembly, I believe, is where, I'm not there, but I believe that's where the laws are put in place. And the laws that are put in place includes these issues that are affecting the people in the nation. So when these laws are passed, projects are going to stem from those, and then funds will come, and we'll try to tackle these things, even if we cannot tackle them all at once, but we have to start from somewhere. So if you talk about they are massive and they will cost a lot of money, that doesn't stop me or deter me from aspiring to dignify my people.
I'll bring in Sekuba Jaju here. You are the sitting MP. Do you agree with Nyuman?
Very good. I want to help my sister. You know, you need to know.
No, the proper is just is Mrs. Kujabi.
Mrs. Kujabi. Very good. We need to know. You know, let us try to tell the Gambian people, and you know your job as a National Assembly member. What is your responsibility? Know how programs and how geography of the country is defined. You see, there are specific roads in the country are not the responsibility of the central government. There are some roads in the country are not the responsibility of the central government. The road that he's talking about, I know my constituency to my fingertip. But I'm very happy just to announce here, I am able to influence governments until I got approval. Now is the mobilization of funds. The road from Mandinari right to Brikama, via all those communities, it's been approved, it's been surveyed, the design is on, government is looking for money. That's why it's not my responsibility to do it. My responsibility is to advocate, to influence government programs, for government to realize, yes, these are the issues in Busumbala. Not only realizing it, but they go there and see for themselves. I took the president there. The president went there himself to see it. He felt it, that it's necessary for them to do it. Now gave his blessings and approvals to the executive to look funded, which is in the high year, which I'm very optimistic. That's why I'm even seeking for re-election, to continue with the government so that the program can continue. Now, the roads that he's talking about from Darubusumbala, those are the responsibility of the council. He talks about council. There is a way I just want to help them on that. You see, National Assembly, and I have done that. I went to the council. Council is autonomous. They are independent. They have their councillors. They sit as we sit in the National Assembly and decide and have their programs. And then fund the councillors to go and do the programs. So for council to do that, it's the councillor who should take those issues as we raise the issues of our constituency in the National Assembly. But what they complain, because what they complain is the resources. Most of their income has been taken away from them. I advise them, let them go back to their act, hire a consultant, and then try to revise. Bring it to the National Assembly. That's where I can empower them.
Thank you very much, Sekuba. Let me bring in Mendy here, Samuel Mendy, independent candidate. I mean, earlier you talked about making laws and project implementation. Let's look at the element of the project issue. How do you intend to address them?
Well, when it comes
because,
to...
you know, it's wanting to make laws, but it doesn't mean, you know, projects.
Yeah, like I said, it all gears towards one thing. Collaboration is very, very important. When it comes to the issue of National Assembly members, and then also to see that the National Development Plan key issues are prioritized, which has to do with development issues. So, but nonetheless, that I didn't have the power as a person to be able to do that. So collaboration, as I always emphasize, very, very important with other National Assembly members.
You talk about collaboration. Collaborate with who?
With
who?
With some of the key National Assembly members, and then also with executive, how to call it, executive power. Because we want to make sure that, especially when it comes to the issue of budget, things are, how to call it, the things that has to do with areas of priorities are being concerned or are being considered. Take, for example, in the key area whereby the government's budget, the president's budget is more than the youth budget, which constitute about 60% of Gambia's population. I think those are some of the things that which we can review and then see how best they can able to be addressed, ensuring that we define key areas of priorities.
You talked about collaborating with your colleague members in Parliament, but the problem here is, I mean, in Parliament, everybody is advocating for his or her constituency. This is where the problem comes in now.
Yeah, because I also believe that there are some key areas that we should know that they are unified amongst us, that which I believe that we can all agree on and then work towards. Very, very
in what areas are you talking about here?
Well, key areas, as I've said, that are priorities that are common amongst us when it comes to national development.
Which are?
For example, when it comes to the issue road connections, when it comes to the issue that has to do with how to call it, youth and development, youth and sport especially, recreational centers. These are very, very key to me, I believe. Most of the time when you look at young people here, there is no enabling environment whereby they will be able to maximize their potentials. Like I said earlier on, that the potentials of young people, not only young people, the people in our constituency lies dormant. And then indeed it has a lot to do and then contribute when it comes to collaboration, as I said, working with those National Assembly members and then also...
Yes, we will come into the local languages soon, but I just want to engage you briefly here, Mr. Mendy. Earlier you talked about the President's Office budget that you said is even more than the Ministry of Youth and Sports. How much is the current budget for the Office of the President?
Not actually the President's budget, which is more than the Ministry of Youth and Sport. I said that the Ministry of Youth contribute almost about 60% of Gambia's population. And then looking at the key issue when you talk about the budget has really been affected, because the President's budget, I believe, that need to be revisited and then see how best we will be able to cut down.
How do you intend to revisit the President's budget?
Well, we talk about the key issue that has to do with the executive power, you see, the executive, and then also we, the National Assembly members, to lobby to see that at least key areas are prioritized when it comes to national development, so that we will be able to see how best every individual, especially some of the sectors, will also be part of the national cake.
Yeah, let me now bring in Buba Sar here. I mean, you have heard from your colleagues. I mean, earlier you talked about the education, the energy sector that we have dealt with. You talked about fisheries sector, education, and the basic commodities. How do you intend to address these problems if you are elected?
That of the fisheries sector, let me start it at the fisheries sector. I'm a sailor, I'm a fisheries observer, chairman of Act 4. It is sad in this country, if it may not be a foul word, we are seeing only one side in the Gambia, that is only land. So even in the National Assembly, to hear someone elaborate on fisheries sector is hardly to hear from them. As we are having two types of fisheries operate in the Gambia, small-scale artisanal and industrial fishery. And these fisheries, they are characterized by their mode of operation.
Let's talk about how do you intend to address the issue of the fisheries sector.
Fisheries
sector. We are talking about Busumbala here.
Now,
we're talking about Busumbala constituency.
Because we are located at the mouth of River Gambia. As at now, some of the fishing trawlers, they discharge in Mandinari. That is a bold step of development towards the country. When we talk of fisheries sector, how to develop fisheries sector, the government, almost $500 million. This was before they released Mr. Dr. Bamba Banja from office, was in government coffers. The government should really look back to its citizens to plow back that money, buying fishing trawlers.
I mean, Buba, I mean, what you're talking about a national issue. I want us to stick to Busumbala constituency. How do you intend to address this issue in your constituency?
How to address the issue
the fact that all you can do, Buba, as a National Assembly member is just to legislate. It's to
it's to legislate, but before legislating, you are legislating it for the people. So, in Busumbala constituency, all what we can do to improve fisheries sector is through training. National Assembly, what are the laws that secure the sector is the question mark.
So now who's going to provide the training?
The training
National Assembly member or?
I myself am not waiting to influence the program of the government because already I'm in the system. Presently, I am negotiating to train crews, second-hand full captain courses, and to have chief officers in the country, which will create employment in the country.
But what do you understand are the roles of a National Assembly member?
Lawmaking and to represent your peoples. What are you to represent your peoples? Is the question mark. Okay, lawmaking. Let us not be a dictator in the National Assembly because most of the parliamentarians, they just got up and go just like that. Some didn't even have a correct group. I would in fact mention it like that. A correct group, not an executive body. Before going to the National Assembly, what you should do, number one, is you are in the constituency. That constituency, they are the one who vote for you. Before doing anything,
but how do you know this thing? You've never been in National Assembly.
Yes, I listen. I know.
Thank you very much. He was reminded of watching QTV and we are broadcasting live from our studios here on Kairaba Avenue, just behind the QCN Mail building. I am your moderator, Aliou Cisse, and then today we are looking at Busumbala constituency. We're also broadcasting, streaming on Facebook and YouTube, and also this broadcast is currently live on Q Radio on 103.3. We will now go into the local languages because it's important. Like I said, also during the debate, we will be expecting 10 minutes phone-in call for people of the Busumbala constituency to call and ask any question to any of the candidates. Let's now go into the local languages. Nima Lisa, I don't know which local language you prefer, Mandinka or Wolof?
I can speak a little bit in all of Mandinka, Wolof, and Jola.
Right, okay.
Yes.
Okay. If you like, you can stick to English if you prefer that.
No, I can speak.
Let's now do it in Wolof then, right?
Wolof, okay.
Wolof, choose. Is your discussion to decide?
It doesn't matter. I'll start in Wolof.
Oh, you start in Wolof. Yes. Okay. I mean, jërëjëf ñi ma lisa ñu ngi la gërëm si li nga ñëw pour fekkee si nga ne moo nekk debate bi yaa ngi taxawal li nga ne moo nekk PDOIS parti ñu bari gën ko xamee doy soo ñu mënee waxaat rek yow nga nekk jigéen nekk nga si li ma wax rek free nga xam ne yéen la PDOIS tànn pour ngeen jongante si élection boo ñëw nii lan moo waral nga génn si pour bokk si jongante bi nii.
kon ni ma waxee woon ci angale rek first of all nekk jigéen dama li ma ko dee fàttali rek mooy su ma ko journaliste yi laajee waaye dama fàtte loolu because dama xam ne jigéen moom lu góor mun rek mun na ko. waaye nag li tax ma saani ma ne suma musóor ci arena bi le ren mooy ne dama gis mbir yu bari yoo xam ne ñu ngi Kombonoot Busumbala constituency yoo xam ne dañ manqué ba to the point ne yeneen yi sax dama foog ne amuñ loolu ci yooyu suñ wér bu yaram bokk na si mbiri suñ doom yi bokk na si xale yi especially xale yi yu jigéen yi ak ñu góor ñi affaire yoon yi bokk na si affaire yi fire station yi sorente torop ci suñ gox gi bokk na si affaire yi police yi suñ leen ooyee suñ amee dara ñu oo leen ni ñoo excès si ñun bokk na ci yi tax ma jóg sànni suma musóor ci arena bi.
waaw soo xoolee li nga lim nii yëpp yow yaa ngi ut toogu pour nekk National Assembly member te ñëpp xam nañ ne député moom liggéeyam moo nekk pour defar ay loi yow naka ngaa mën a jëlee sa place pour mën a saafaral ay problème yi nga xam ne da nga ko lim nii.
waaw loi si defaroo foofu la xaalis yi dee mun a génn foofu lañ dee mun a release projet yi soo ne nit ñi wéruñ réew bi luwaam bi war naa mun a aar nit ñi seen wér bu yaram léegi yooyu suñ ko indee ci National Assembly ñu waxtaan ci comme que foofu waxtaan moo ñu fa nekkal nga seet ne man de suma gox gi lii mooy problème bi mu ngi nii tege ci table bi waaye mu ngi yées nekkul di gaaw a génn wala nekku fi wala mu ngi fi waaye nekkul di dox nga joxoñ ko nga ne leen man suma gox gi lii mu ngi fa problème bii mu ngi fa waaye gisuma ko ci table bi fii wala gis naa ko fi waaye mu ngi tegee boor nekkul di dox lana waral loolu nga waxtaanal sa morom yi ne leen ah nañ leen seet ñu randal lii fu mu nekk mu ngi gannaaw torop nañ ko randal mu ñëw ci digga wala mu dem ci kanam ndax mu mun a génna ndax nit ñi ngëri ñëw ci su fekkee ne nekku fa nga voice out ci sa morom yi nga ne leen man de problème bii issue la suma area dama bugg a ñu seet ko bu baax ndax ñu layte ndax mun nañ koo boole ci luwaa yi war a taxaw
soo ko xoolee defar luwaa amin meenu ne danga am xaalis bi even soo amee xaalis bi sax dangaa gis ne si palme ñu bari ñoo fa nekk competition la so yow daf mel ni amuloo plan oo li nga am moo nekk nag nga mun a influencer sa collègue MPC pour mun a am li nga bëgg
waaw
nooy defee loolu pour mun leen a influence
gis nga ñaaka xaalis taxut
because li nga bëgg loola parti bëgg loola Demba bëgg
waaw waaye ñaaka xaalis taxut ñu ñaaka xam lan lañ bëgg li ñu ñor xam nañ ko te lu la ñor soo ko xamee deng cee taxaw bu baax nga wax ci te wax yooyu laa la wax nii ne dinañ ci waxtaan
xam nga di ba dañ dee wax ne bugg a dem taxul nga dem
taxul nga dem
mun a dem moo tax nga dem
waaw
waaye def na ne yow fii da nga bugg a dem rek
dama bugg a dem
waaw
su ma munta dem sax dama bugg a dem loolu nga wax waaye man waxuma loolu dama ne foofu waxtaan a fa nekka foofu waxtaan a fa nekka te fu waxtaan am déggoo am te su déggoo amee juboo am waaye su fekkee ne comme health sector bi sax bi ma nekk di baamtu nii su fekkee ne réew mi amuñ xaalis foog naa ne xaalis bu ndaw bu nekk ci kaw table bi bon nañ ko jël yëpp dugal ko ci health sector bi because lu nit war a mun a def wér gu yaram mooy njëkkee.
jërëjëf naa des si yow ñi ma lii sax léegi naa indi Samuel Mendy Samuel xaw ma ndax dañuy laajte njaago nag Ulef.
man yaakaar naa ne moom dinaa laal si njaago ak laal tamit ci wolof.
baax na kon moo tax ma la Ulef.
waaye xam naa ne dégguloo Ulef.
waaw léegi comme li ma laajoon ñi ma di sa rek yow nekk nga ndaw yaa ngi ñëw jongante nga nekk independent candidate moo nekk bootloo si benn parti political party yi bari nañu waaye da nga bëgg a pour taxaw independent lu njëkk rek ma laaj dem lan moo tax nga bëgg a taxaw independent ak yan jafe-jafe nga gis si Busumbala constituency ba nga toog nga feel ne war ngaa mën a represent Busumbala ci National Assembly.
jërëjëf ci laajte boobu noonu te li ma mën a tontu ci loolu maanaam daal njiit daf dee ànd ak gis-gis mooy waral ne nga avance wala nga yóbbu sa réew kanam wala nga yóbbu sa constituency kanam lu tax man may yëngu ci côté boobu noonu pour taxaw as an independent candidate maanaam ne dama gis ay texa wala problème yu nekk si suma gox bi ma xam ne daal laal na ma te am naa ci yëg-yëg ci lu nit ñi yëg tamit ci suma constituency ma xam ne pour nekk ci kii bi ni place National Assembly maanaam dama nekk foofu noonu pour yokka seen baati ci wàllum National Assembly ak ci seen wàllu problème yi gars yi am ci seen texa maanaam yu dem ci wàllum ndox loolu tamit problème la foofu noonu nga ñëw ci wàllum ndaw yi tamit loolu problème la ak ci wàllum jigéen yi ci yëfi dem seen tool yi tamit loolu problème la pour wax rek ci gàttal bëri na problème yu nekk si suma gox waa mun naa wax ne lii moo nekk li nga xam ne dinaa ci mun a gàttal.
waaye léegi yow soo demee parlement oo li ngaa def moo nekk pour lobby advocate te li nga wax ne lu bari la yow naka ngaa mun a use sa toogu bi as a National Assembly member pour mun a saafaral yéen parce que projet yi nga lim ni yëpp xaalis moo koy mun a doxal.
waaw
nekkul wax kese.
loolu moom daal déggoo la rek xam naa ne yow kenn rek amuloo baat foofu noonu ñëpp a am baat waaw boo ñëwee ak sa morom yi ñu nga xam ne ñooñu tamit dañ nekk foofu noonu nga gis ne am ngeen ay texa yi nga xam ne yëpp benn la moom mun ngeen a déggoo ci côté boobu noonu ngeen seet naka ngeen a waxtaane ngeen ànd ci wàllum problème bi nga xam ne loolu moo nekk ci sa wàllu gox te loolu tamit loolu la ñoom tamit yëg si seen gox tamit yaakaar naa ne loolu dinañu jàppale trop pour ñu mun a def tamit problème mun a waxtaane wala seet naka la ñoo déggee ci wàllu mbiri problème yu ñu am si suñ de
jërëjëf léegi dinaa indi ki nga xam ne moo nekk di sitting National Assembly member ki nga xam ne moo nekk Sekuba you are the incumbent te ñu bari ñu ngi laam-laam sa affaire sa integrity and everything ñu ne dañ la faloon under UDP 2017 nga jógee UDP dem NPP lan moo waraloon loolu and then soo ñëwaatee yaa ngi dellusiwaat pour ut li nga xam ne moo nekk toogu Busumbala constituency bi yow soo naree jasu si gannaaw lan nga def lu la wóor ne waa Busumbala wana la mën a falaat pour nga delluwaat ak li nga xam ne mënu la ko achieve looy mën a point out ne lii de bëgg naa ko achieve waaye mën ma ko achieve te bëgg naa ko achieve suñu ma joxee second term.
Jerejef, I think I speak in Mandinka.
Yeah, thank you.
If I want to speak Wolof here,
I know.
I can hear, but I'm not very much.
Yeah, I know. Actually, I'll ask the question in Mandinka.
Ila nyinin karo was warata baake because you nyinin ka flow nyinin ka wala first 2017 nara no UDP ticket la time filen kana no NPP ticket la. One to correction ntamang cross carpet. All right? Two ntamang bo UDP lambay. All right? Ila dai logo nana allegiance switch to the president. That's the letter I received. All right? And I'm not speaking the language of the party. So those were the reasons they expelled me from the party when there was no NPP. So I was independent up till now in the parliament. So NPP Nata, part of it, we formed the NPP, we continue with the president because the vision of Minnesota, then continue to work together, nkamimbe kumbo, inshallah be sonelal. So nga mine ke mine jarta na molien tambindi wala nga fay commencement ko nga need assessment ke na bang fe mo fay ba kumbola jang banko la problem wala bari ibal adanna ititalto say be tal solve la nyaadi wala mi need assessment ke institutional member banko kan loi alkalo le soto ani VDCs wala responsibility for local government act wala responsibility banko la sate community do ko la so itata ngata wala ni wala kacha in 2017 2018 ni wole kaja minimile sate la problem oti ngana nga tablet nga prioritize nata realize ko jio mansi kurango mansi jara kende ya mansi silol man betea kana mo mansi danaka musol la sementu ya be mansi danaka fengol be man dasata bango kan so ngole prioritize I take it to the government so ni ngalo ni nyasamba to the parliament how do you influence ibo ke no nyaadile Parliaments bukatana individual la. An individual member buka fenkeno. Parliament ya committees le soto. No responsibility. Every aspect of life of government yaje has a committee in the parliament which is responsible. So ibo influence no nyadire. First iti member you will be more familiar with your issues. Ila bangola problem. Yellow ya for eloquently and correctly for your colleagues to understand what you are saying. All right? Then you start lobbying from your own colleagues. If, for example, I'm in Defense and Security Committee, there is defense issue or security issue in your constituency. You want the Minister of Interior or Defense to do it. You know that I have direct contact with them because that's my responsibility. Because Constitution is a power of a High Court judge. If I'm in that committee, I have the power to call the minister to question. So you, as an you call me, okay, I need a police station in my constituency because there are a lot of armed robbers in my area. I will take you to my constituency, in my committee. Raise with my people.
Abarka Sekuba, your 2 minutes is finished. I will now bring in both Nyima Lisa, Samuel Mendy, and Boba Sarr. What do you think is the failings of the incumbent, from your own understanding? Where do you think he has failed that he doesn't deserve a second term? I will start with Buba. You can say it in the local language. Okay. Fine.
Yes. Coming, Mr. Yaju. Niya jube ate ala failure be daming. Wolo minti ko même to influence the program of the government ning atara ibije baydi bi masakunda le tala ye kachandi min bete bulu pour se sonne la nyamin kela din kra develop. Okay, development o ni alo man sakunda da makan o parliament da makan atita mine be caring Gambia la problem o not Gambia but bayri me constituency lo mbato nga da wo Busumbala constituency wala minti ko if you are well connected yakalam dara ko min kan yin sila kuwol min fotanting mbe sampulo tala mfawlen presently yin silon mi yalan ko de feeder roads ani yin silon min tinyante janden samba I'm having an enterprise abembul mi yalan ko moto ba tang ane dulu mbe yin silon malen be dadala ni ala sonda.
No, na question is yemune je femme ala ko akoyte ma isa fono nyinne ya sabu ko
ako mon ko negle
Seku Ba Jaju manyana amanyana ka carte win in Busumbala constituency. Blame ka fail taji ala failings
follow of comme afon e minfo wala minti ko abe patiyol tonu ye carte fayay wo patiyo nata bay abri ya bay anata decide pour ka join NPP so bar ku dalilo le biye ate fon se je fono ay koy.
Okay, it's okay. Let me bring in Nyimandisa here. Nyimandisa, so Nare Hall Seku Ba Jaju. See Olaf, what are some of his failings? I think you will understand better if I said it in English. Wow. Okay, all right. Okay. What are some of his failings as far as you are concerned that you think, you know what, this guy doesn't deserve a second term?
Man dama de ci lum wax fi fofu lay tibe tuti mune ci biir waxam dega na wax na fi ne he's well connected, he knows the issues, he's connected to his community, the constituency. I mean, and he says that he knows the issues of that constituency to the tip of your fingers.
Obviously.
Correct me if I'm wrong. He said that, right?
That's true.
So if you have the knowledge, why didn't you implement it? Because mandama fong ne fim fele, hamna issues si mune. Why implement it far as I'm seeing on the ground? Man ci yuma worni di nuyo di tago di campaign, gisuma ben project fofu, bu man nit ñi joxoñal ñu ne ma Seku Ba moo indi project bii nii fii. Gisuma ben road buñ defar ñu ne sa Seku Ba moo ko indi fii. Gisuma fi ben lopitaan buñ ma wane Seku Ba ko sampa wala lii la fi indi. Lu ma dee dégga gaaya mi ne.
You can take note. You can take note.
Yes.
Okay.
Gaaya mi ne. Fu ma dëkk bu ma taxaw koñ bu ma taxaw ñu ne ma Seku Ba buñ ko votalee duñ ko dee gis. Gisuñ ko 5 years ba léegi bi election bi jotatee lañ door ñuy dégg ne ñëw na fii ñëw na fale waaye duñ ko dee gis. waaye su fekkee ne loolu dégg la bon foofu la fii because dafa war a connect back, remain connected.
Thank you so much, Melissa. I'll bring in Mendy. What are some of his feelings?
Well, to me, I think with leadership, it's very, very important that you...
No, you can even say it in Wolof. Because now we are in the local language segment.
Yes. I'm comfortable with the English.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think to me, leadership, it has to do with engaging your people and then networking with your people. They need to hear from you. You see, you need to hear their problem, their outcry, and then know how best you will be able to amplify their voice. But in the area whereby you are absent and then you are not being seen or visible in their eyes or engaging them into the process that which you are into, that you represent them for, I think that you are disconnected. And then that doesn't help your leadership qualities. Because leadership ability determines the person's level of effectiveness.
Okay, thank you. Seku Ba, where have you been? Your people are, they say they are not seeing you.
I am the most connected, MP. Yeah, well, I don't have responsibility now. La fanga culturally understand responsibility of the MP. Ning mo tata, what I believe is, ni nata moya ibe card singing labulo, tonya fire ay tonya foye. Among ko MPP da suwo le kono. Wa nan ko every community has institutions. Ni nata do edo ko so you deal with people. Ning atra ko there are places me ko mfamata jela. Probably will mental part of the process but go kika. But a meaningful connection, I think I'm connected because Bibi Lala nga institution mi fo sare kono. Ni tara je ba fele ko honorable na do ko kale. The alcalos, the VDCs, the sport committees, the women leaders, the women CAFOs, I am working with them. All right, I think that's the best connection. Ni na ta ko I mean for I atara dawo da. Akata damim possibly. Asalongo amman kentela do ku di ka fem do ku lato. My job is to advocate. But kabrin nata, for example, ni ma fire or ma long, nsa fire. natara busumbala bo jigo promote bo holobe banta bato na imitino ko banta bato na tango is me. I advocate lobby to bring that one there. The police station in Busumbala, I put it there. I lobby to bring it there. And I put my own money there. Because Mobiano Busumbala was a very, very big and then trouble accident. The traffic checkpoint at Yundum Hospital, it was through my lobby. I brought it there. If you go to almost all the communities in my constituency, because you go and promote it, Mansata Bekano, come here, Mansata Bekano. So you go out to the donors again. I went to all these donors. Almost all communities I dug boreholes there. Almost all the communities. If you go to sport committees, almost every year, every sport committee, I chip in to help them to have their annual inheritance.
Yes. Okay.
Centers that have problems, I work on it. And the greater one, the problem is, the other one is, excuse me.
Okay, no, honorable, wait, 2 minutes is what, Nima, you want to come in? You have the opportunity to also ask them if you have any question.
I congratulate la.
Thank you.
Bayri nga fali janne ko moman ko belong.
Panta.
Andun kudol ni ma a voice out jabiro te soto la je pour kalong. Barenko sañi biri yo ko wol beke. Foy kam muru ne nyim fengol munu beke e kamuru la mol kanne banka foy ko. Bare de mba kanne de nyin kudon tele nga facilitate wala na woketa. Katu ning ibu kam muru imalon ko ka kuwal kejele kontele bukeje ye wala fonni ndata dawde
let's just summarize the questions let's just summarize the question. Honorable, you can respond, and if you have any question for any one of them,
you ask.
Yes, or anybody, Buba, Samuel, if you have any question for any of your opponents, you can ask the question.
Yes. No, a question on coming for ko National Assembly, you need to ask National Assembly member, you need to know your job. Nimo na rakabu kije. Anya na kanya ngalbu ka jimine la. Because yaron Gambian to la National Assembly mbike jimine lo, mbugi jena Samuelto, mbugi jena Kuliol. I understand.
Oh, man, kuma ya honorable.
Akumatale. Very well. Binda ngana campaign o baile because Samuel kata Busumbala. I want to attend that one. But ita be attend no. Because ila main responsibility is the chambers.
Thank you. Now, Samuel and Buba, nyara ale question on nyinika wala amin question lolum buga like any of your opponents. Nekul honorable rek, why even Nyima Lisa, anybody, yeah. If you have any question, wala honorable ya sa nyara nyinikara sura lepa kamenke isa keno. Isi nyinikara keno.
Lefta Buba le nyinikara, aninka makoy. Buba yamu minke yang. It seems he's a businessman. He wants to get the position to do business. Because looking for a land to establish fuel tank and tank, that's business.
Good.
That's private. Two.
Yeah.
Ning atrago, you have trucks. You want to do silo. Or do you have the opportunity? The media plus when you come to business empower.
Good. Buba, are you a businessman who is just looking for plus or procure business or you want?
Not only that, I'm what Malo from Barin Kijola for because near Jube, can you mean barefoot tenting and Wolum Bankola development on manke business wo damati business wo bijela mba konole aben konola banko konole.
Well,
okay.
Just to remind our viewers that you're still watching QTV and we're broadcasting live. We have now opened the lines. If you are from Busumbala constituency and you want to make a phone call to ask any of these candidates here question, the lines are now open. You will have your number, the numbers on your screens. Especially me and Busumbala constituency is a Kwandro Keno, Yinikaro, Kenyara Yinikaro Lebebulu. Phone you call putting in Carolum. Mbokk nga mi ngi saran QTV di leen xamane fu ngeen ubbi leen lines ci képp ko xam ne bëgg nga call laajte am laajte boobu nga def rek mu nga call waa especially nga mi ñoo dëkk waa Busumbala constituency parce que lu am solo la dégg ngeen seen nit yi liñ fi wax bu dee yéen tam liñ wax ne loolu moo am wala am na loolu bëgg a laajte rek waaye understand am nañ benn caller. Hello caller, what's your name and where you calling from?
Hello, Mamadou from New Yundum.
All right. Do you have a question for any of the candidates here?
Yes, I have a question for that Buba.
Brilliant. Just quickly ask your question. Go on.
Okay, Buba, he said he has 15 trucks and he can do that, maybe a road, something like that. So why didn't he do it before he attempted to be a member of parliament? because he's a good citizen and he has the access, he has the facilities to at least help the country. Why didn't he do it first? And wait until he become an MP, then he start to do it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Buba, respond. Yeah, my ako muna iko trokole be bulu. Muna na ite ima nyike foile plaga bodo fanyi bodo parliament.
Okay, bismillah, because muna jabi man ka kan fon la bayri ye dabulem ma woto. Fa ko morke ba ngela ko ngome baraka bake. Amanke ko mbake kan say ne ma faham. Ntebe damim trokol woli natale wolbe do ko kane nkan na taxi manul jo 5000 len a bota yenna 7 seater passenger mini ba ko non kejo 6000 len na trok ti non kejo $18,000 la pour kaje ko gambia nga nyola akodi a manke ko lefta député yalla wala yatinna mba fole ko nkata silo la doku
abaraka bake abuba yes no sa abantale ye jabiro kale ko fona summarize because ñinge bula jang e be diamula di ordinary but akumerle warja ye jabiro ke ngamra sa I understand yes well yes yeni nen honorable nyara question for another opponent or Mendy Nyimalisa Buba nyara
Mendy kala ala issue of leadership. I intend to improve the leadership. Is he talking about the national leadership? There's a problem with the national leadership or the leadership in the community.
Good. Mendy?
And fire National Assembly portfolio within the structure of the communities.
All right. Mendy?
Okay, that's a very good question that which he asked when it comes to leadership, as he rightly mentioned. If, for example, that you are called into leadership and then you're representing your people, remember I made a very key issue here. I made a very key word here. That is like you engage the people within the community. Networking is very, very important. You have to engage with the people because if they have not seen you...
Just hold on, Mendy. I understand there's another caller on the line. Hello, caller. What's your name and where are you calling us from? Okay, we have lost that caller. Yes, Mendy, you can proceed.
So that is one of the key things that I talk about because vision is what drives the constituency. And if the people are crying out there that they've not been seeing you for a very long time, then you are missing somewhere. And then these are the people that you are accountable to. Responsibility and accountability is very, very important.
But, I mean, have we done any survey to know the number of people that haven't seen Honorable?
Well, most of the places that you've been to, whether Busumbala, in different communities that we've been to, the same outcry out there that he has not been seen for a very long time, and then they have a grief, something like that. They have a grief sort of with regard to him being missing.
Brilliant. Honorable, I'll bring you in here. Do you have a constituency office?
Very good. This is a question with very big thing here we don't understand. Well, I'm five National Assembly portfolio within the constituencies. You see, why National Assembly call another.
Just hold on, Honorable. We have another caller. Hello, caller. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
My name is Mohammed.
Mohammed, where are you calling us from?
I'm on the Suncholaji.
Do you have a question?
Yes, I do.
Please, can you just ask your question quickly?
Okay, let us check about Jadilo Ninkala. Malong, so you plan to commission of Kunyal level.
Okay. Ile toka muna nyininka?
Wala. Comme you say budget ke senola Kunyala ba, senola Kunyala.
Seno.
Silo.
Comme seno ni fama.
Seno. Okay. Okay. All right. He's asking a question about Seno Kunyala.
Okay, Nico Seno, nga atala agriculture expert balno. Seno mojima kamera ko kungudo golem. In my constituency, you have more of horticultural gardens than farms. So ferobo lale, because ubeka dire is either private enterprises to help NGOs or the government. I have done an assessment of all women gardens in my constituencies that need assistance. I have started them, and I will continue. As I am talking to you, almost all the major gardens women Minister of Agriculture and I'm trying to push with them to raise the issue so that they have in their plans to fence them and provide water.
Yes, Honorable, I'll bring you in here. I mean, during your first time in office, last 5 years, we've seen your legislature, the 5th legislature. They've passed a quite number of bills, enacted a lot of bills in the past, including the Women Enterprise Fund bill. As a National Assembly, do you have any regret of supporting any bill in Parliament, or voting against any bill in Parliament that you sit and said, I regret why I voted against this bill, or I voted for this bill?
Not a bill it's an agreement, I believe, that I still have the question, where is that? When we came in 2017, that was a problem. Coming in 2017, National Assembly, you know, putting 100% new members.
Just Honorable, hold on. We have our last caller there. Yes. Hello, caller. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
I am Dauda Busumbala.
All right, Dauda.
It's very good. The program is very good. My question is, Mr. Sar intends to establish, if I am getting him right, a training center for youths in the fisheries industry, in the fisheries sector. I want to ask him if there is any plan for him to put up that sector to tertiary level, because I know fishing is a very important component of our food.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very much. I think you have understand his question now, Buba. It's a job, you know.
Yeah, it's a job, you know. Abaraka bake caller. Follow nga fero cool min soto ndefon nga milandi through GTTI ntatale ni kachata kaje ko mbe multrin no la nyadile follow wala minti ko ka fankanto ke fonla ba kono kuola aning safety precaution womu kilineti fulanjang Busumbala constituency kan fulanjang wala minti ko dek hanol because ne ajube nyim fishing trawler sol kono since 94 ntebe je do kuola kanabula bi jannimbina ka contest ngaje ko ferol mini belarinje Gambia victor wo karola bake kaje ko dek hanol mini yalan ko crucial on board commercial fishing vessels ni bije ila do ko sembo ka keminti wala mu sembela do ko de hani jala karo fo mi yano je abika sia
abaraka bake yes no we're running out of time. Honorable, one question Honorable, we're running out of time now. What we will do now, I mean, we have now come to the end of this program. We will allow each of you to give a 2 minutes closing statement, and in that statement I'm asking a question to all of you. If you were to be in Parliament today, what bill will you introduce, or what law will you support as far as, you know, the reforms in this country are concerned? It can be part of your closing remarks. I will start with Nimalisa.
You said one,
two laws that you think, you know, you will introduce if you are elected, and this is going to be part of your 2 minutes closing remarks.
I will introduce a national health care bill and an anti-corruption bill. And
already we have anti-corruption bill
it's already there. Okay, but
it's not
maybe
yet.
I will, if I wouldn't introduce it then because it's there, I will emphasize on them.
Yeah.
Because if they're there and they're still, those fields are still lagging, then there needs to be emphasis on them. And
yes, speaking is closing remark. You can
speak na diamol kono nga yusol la ko majele do manding nge fole bare mema ku jamale yusol impact andun tanga miran na yusol for the most part e mun na nyin society la victim let yusol banko anin tundol man investi la ko to bake do ko la karola karal la fal la karola meti la fal la karola andun wo ko ya tinale na wo invest baliya kan ay tinale na dindingol be desperate ring fonte febe suicide la commit kan kasila jawol tami mu back route kata tubabdu ni momo bulata kulundingo kono kabula baba kono ko kata tubabdu le pour que la balunya ni la wululal la balunya fesendi woto jakali bale boyte kan andu wo jakalo banko nyanta wo jibe kula le bang abe fondinkel mobilize la nyama e engage pour ikana desperate pour kanyin sila jawol ta kadumbal kono katalal tuba buta se kenye no choice tile ida nga megjang wala nga ta wonyanta tarlaji
abarka baka nyimalisa Mendy In 1 minute, we're running out of time. In 1 minute now, please. Yes,
okay.
In 1 minute, yeah.
Yeah, for me, I think that indeed the youths, they need to be well represented, and then their voice need to be amplified. And then for me, I believe that this is the time that which, they have an opportunity for their voice to be amplified. For that reason, we believe that indeed recreational centers and then skills acquisition programs need to be encouraged to see how best we will be able to address issues pertaining to young people within our country, the Gambia, because they contribute 60% of our population. No one will build Gambia first. Gambia will be built by Gambians.
Thank you very much, Mendy. Honorable?
Yes, alhamdulillah, we are very happy to be part of this debate. But I love Buba is more of a technician than wants to do the job. Buba is in the business sector, and I'm jail dindindi kebalamati. Ate alon they are policy makers.
You have 1 minute closing remarks.
Yes, they are policy makers. I can remember fisheries is important because mandinaring, kungujanjataya, you go to Bafoloto, you go to Kubuni, baby balabala, and it's from that area. So, Minana Kabrata abe in active service in Minister of Fisheries. I'm more influential as a policy maker to have those trainings, to have those facilities there. And I can for almost bigger one. If you want to help the community, all fishing trawlers, train our youths, fishing trawlers, ye hanging the Dumbakono, in Yemuta. I can mean bigger Ango Marinering. They are foreign trawlers. So I don't know who foreign the Golomgo, I take Kabrabe do fisheries. I need to Gibela. So by the community promote Gambian member Mansakunda Kono.
Honorable, your time is up. Buba, closing remarks in 1 minute finally. Is that funny in any language, Buba?
Because you for elaborate.
1 minute,
Buba. Fisheries sector, not that we are working, we are side by side with the Department of Fisheries. Fisheries Observer Monte, Kafole Bembul is an act for a situation alone. Not that I'm a policy maker. Ntolka Mansakundale Makoi. Going on board commercial fishing vessels. Over 200 people are working behind me. Many alonko I train them along. Many alonko be industrial sector. Nita the artisanal sector for
well, viewers, with that we come to the end of this live debate, and today we were looking at Busumbala constituency. Well, I mean, the rules are at the end of the debate, you either have handshake or elbow bump just to acknowledge each other. I mean, yes, you can do that anyway. Well, viewers, I'm afraid with that we bring an end to this live debate. I was your moderator, Aliou Cissé. Do join my colleague Ansman Sonyasi tomorrow for the All Udem constituency. On behalf of the production team and everyone here at QTV, we thank you so much. Bye-bye.